by the FCC, and none of you want to say a word. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Well, we've been blessed with some fair weather after all the storms and everything. Thankfully, all of our repeater sites are relatively undamaged by the storm. I've been in contact with our gentleman at CSX, and we're going to get back on that building to diagnose what's going on with the 444-675 repeater. But the flagship repeater 14676, because we've been going through some enhancements with Donnie Stratton and KM4 CGB cell. He and Daniel have been working on the All-Star network, which is a vast improvement over what you would normally be able to do with EchoLink. With All-Star, I'm told by Daniel, you can connect anything anywhere that has VoIP capability, voice over internet protocol, like most digital radio formats are. So you can link DMR, D-Star, C4FM, everything. And for those that were wondering what happened to the Squelch Tail, there is a Roger beat now on the repeater. So you just have to, on the 7.6 repeater, so you just have to be a little slower on the button to and listen for it before you start keying up on it and wiping everybody else out. It will ID and it will beep. There are enhancements that we're making. Daniel's studying on this. This All-Star is a whole nother animal with an even bigger learning curve than DMR, if that's even possible. But tonight we know you're all here to win a chance at a free radio. Daniel and Polly have the tickets. We're going to start circulating those here in just a minute, but we have a program. Daniel's the guy in the colorful shirt, if you don't know who Daniel is.
I had a program. Our program presentator is not here.
The presentator is not here. Is that a word? Okay.
We'll make do.
Anyway, we had a really great meeting last month. Had a good crowd, almost this size. We actually showed off some of our equipment, our repeaters. Most people don't know what the inside of this little box is. They think there's like just some magic smoke that runs around in there and the radio signal comes out. You need a pen?
Raise your hand if you don't want a ticket for a chance to win the
FTM, what is it?
Dropped only once radio. Nobody?
Anyway, we got to show off our hey, look who's here. Our portable communication station that has both 2 meter, 70 centimeter, and HF in it. It's both battery and solar powered, and we've been using it recently for parks over the air activations around the area. We're still trying to schedule more of those. We're supposed to have one coming up here soon. Hey, Daniel.
Thank you.
Daniel,
Yes, sir.
can somebody else pass out the tickets and we can get the rest of the meeting started? When's the next Parks Over the Air, Daniel? Hey, Daniel. Hey. We'll pass the plate if you want. Yeah, it is a church, so they don't mind if we use the plates.
So Justin, you wore your original range shirt 20 years ago.
That is an original Range t-shirt that you're wearing? Oh boy.
You just got a matching one.
And a matching one. Holy cow.
These are vintage.
And you can still fit in them. That's even more impressive, Paul.
They cleaned out the closet all the way down to the bottom. It was like an archaeological
They
dig.
got them out of the dust rag bin, right? There is a link, I think, to a company if you want to purchase some current swag for range.
There is on the website, we have a link for,
VHF only, you can't talk on UHF.
I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order and give control over to Daniel. Daniel, you're up. Here's your microphone if you want it.
no, you can leave it there, that's fine.
I'll bring it closer to you if it doesn't feed back through the camera.
Bring the gate down a little bit.
You can stand close to it. If they can hear me, they can hear you. I'll be right
So the camera should work. We got a I guess a treasury report. I didn't add everything up, but we have spent some money this last month, as y'all give me permission to go shopping. I don't have a total of what I spent, but got a total of what's left. We got $1,561 in checking, $848 in savings, and $27 in PayPal. So that's 15. Well, we still got money. 15 and 8, 23, $2,400. I didn't add them up. So we're still looking good. We still have some money. I did buy 4 CDM radios, CDM 12 or 1550s, 440s for some link backs. We've got 2 Ideomatics, got some Raspberry Pi interface cables to go along with it for the All-Star nodes. We did get a Tigertronics USB link, which was originally going to use for the Echo Link. That is pretty much obsolete now with our All-Star setup. All-Star or Echo Link is being essentially hosted through the All-Star. So we eliminate.
Along with other things, in addition to Echo.
Yeah. We did get 3 antennas. I got us a deal on some, I believe they were diamond, a little short. Anyway, we got 3 new antennas and we got them at $80 a piece. They're dual band, 2-meter 440s. So we got us a good deal on those. That's a backup for the repeaters and a backup for the All-Star nodes. And something I wanted to mention too is when we're here, last month we was playing with the pianos. We don't want to be doing that. We're guests here at this house, and the pianos and their equipment is off limits. We got used to their facilities, but unless we're doing a presentation or something, they don't want us messing with stuff we normally wouldn't use during our normal meeting. Let's see. We talked a little bit about, let me move this around. We talked 3 months ago about a doing business as name for our organization. And I sent everybody emails out. And hopefully everybody's had time to think about it. Because I'd like to essentially take a vote on that tonight. I pass the list out to everybody. Pass these around, everybody take one.
So we want a Jacksonville Range, when I first moved to Jacksonville,
Oh.
look at that now.
Appreciate the same page.
That's okay. You're at me.
You got a favorite name?
So we're not,
That boy some Imodium made these.
it's not gonna hold it anything against you for not being
Like jar.
a member.
You got guitars, jars.
So if you're not a member, but you're here,
$5 for this one.
we're only one. Any donation goes to Jacksonville Range. I'm not gonna miss it yet. All the tickets are going at regular.
Different names. Whole changes.
That's right. I like that. Jackson, you're hitting all the radios.
Once.
Jacksonville Range has been the corporation's name
There you go.
for, I don't know, 50 years.
About 54, actually, if you count the first incorporation.
Yeah. It's been the name for an organization for many years. And when I first moved to Jacksonville, looking for radio clubs, I found Jacksonville Range, but I was thinking that's a gun club. Anyway, if we're gonna start advertising, asking for donations from corporations, doctors, lawyers, anybody, I think it would be more advantageous to us as an organization to be recognized as a ham radio group, not a gun club. So, would still be Jacksonville Range Association. That's gonna be our legal name. That's what we incorporated on. The doing business as name is just that. We're doing business as, whatever we decide. We'll have to register that with the state. We have to run an ad in the newspaper for 4 weeks or something like that, or a week. Once we do that, then we can apply to the state and let them know that we get their blessing. Then we want to do business as this name. Once we do that and they give us a blessing, then they'll put it in the records, and you can look up whatever, Jacksonville Amateur Radio Club. You can look that up online on sunbiz.org, and it's gonna reference right over to Jacksonville Range Association, because it's registered and that's what we're doing business at. So, but we have to get all that set up. I'd like to take a vote tonight so we can get this put into motion so we can get it done. Reason I want to do that, because we have things like this we need to start making. You want to pass some of these out, Justin? It costs money to make these. Websites, decals, any literature we do, we want to put our name on. And we don't want to print up a bunch of literature and
Have to scrap it.
yeah, and it don't have our club's name on it. Well, everybody's gonna know us by Jacksonville Range Association. Now we got a bunch of stuff that's gonna be outdated. We're gonna be known as a ham radio club with a new name, doing business as. Anything we print out, we wanna have our name on it. Jan printed these things out for us. I had them made. Just an example, these like window stickers. And it helps get a word out about it. People can see it in the back of your car, your bumpers, wherever you want to put it. You can put it on the equipment at the house. And eventually we'll make more, but we wanna start passing them out like at the testing exams, new hands come in. We wanna be able to have this sitting on a table, when new hands pass their license or not pass. We wanna have something like that sitting at the table, so when they come out, they can pick that up and go home. And it's a reference, so they know who we are. And they look at this, Jacksonville Rangers Association, like, I don't want nothing to do with a gun club.
Well, we changed the logo so they wouldn't be confused, but.
Yeah, but it'd be a lot better if it said, whatever we decide here. Anybody like anything that we have on this list or have their own choice or idea that's not on here, that they would like us to consider? You had your hand up, Al. What do you think?
I like the second one, the jars. I think it's pretty cool.
Jacksonville Amateur Radio Society?
Can't hear them.
Second.
Jars, the second one, jars. Jacksonville Amateur Radio Society.
That's taken.
Yeah, I meant to scratch that one off, but that's was used many years ago. But is it still active, you think, Jack?
Well, there are a few members. They work out of Melrose most of the time. How they keep the name Jacksonville, who knows?
Yeah, that was an active club.
With the active repeater.
Yeah. Well, they weren't into repeaters. They were much more into HF and DX expeditions and stuff.
How long ago are we talking about?
I can't hear you.
How long ago are we talking about?
Oh, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years.
They're still active?
Are they still alive?
Some of them. I don't think they do much recruiting, so they're probably dying off from attrition.
They did a lot of de-expedition.
I'm gonna throw my vote in for FCRC, First Coast Radio.
I would second that one.
First Coast Radio Club.
Yeah.
And then another one would be the similar what Al was talking about would be the Jacksonville Amateur Radio Club.
I thought on that. That would be
As soon
cool.
as you say First Coast, that's awfully close to North Florida.
I thought that's where we are.
Yeah, it is. So is No Forest.
Yeah. First Coast.
But are we Jacksonville Amateur Radio?
Yeah, well, Jacksonville would be a narrower area. First Coast would be more widespread if you wanted to go a wider area.
It would, we have a coverage area at least that big.
You have to speak up.
I said our coverage is at least that big, to be able to say First Coast.
Yeah, we want to expand. We don't want to think small.
Daniel, yes, a question.
Yes, sir.
About Jacksonville Amateur Radio Club, when I first decided I was gonna start to look for a club to get involved with, that's when I searched and got it was Jacksonville Amateur Radio Club. And it didn't come up with any direct hits. The Jacksonville Range Society was on the first page, but I thought it was a gun range, so I didn't look at it. So just throw my thoughts out on that. That's specifically what I searched was Jacksonville
Probably a
Amateur
lot of
Radio.
We should go after it. We should investigate.
Go after it anyway.
Let's investigate.
That's good, webmastering, I guess, and advertising for,
Depends on who hosts
I've done a lot to make.
You get the name right, see if the domain name's available.
Take a lot of work to do that.
I thought it
Whatever I've been doing, seems to have been working.
We got two domain names right now, JacksonvilleRange.com and JacksonvilleRange.org.
Put some bots out there, get the search count.
Yeah, it's our, magic
A billion.
meta words and everything.
Search engine optimization, what they call it.
Speak up, please.
Search engine optimization,
Yeah.
that's what they call it.
I'm no expert, but whatever I've been doing seems to be working because we get a lot of exposure through our website. And I wish I knew what I was doing because we get a lot more. But
If you knew what you were doing, it could be a problem.
Yeah.
Name really matters. It sure does.
I would like to start doing more, and I'd like to have a name to work from, instead of change. If you keep changing stuff up, it hurts the search engine optimization. So we want to try to go, that's why I want to go ahead and get this done. Yeah,
What if we added the ham radio component to the Jacksonville range? Jacksonville Amateur Radio Range Club.
That's a mouthful.
yeah, the longer you make it is
Oh, yeah, yeah.
defeating.
That's 20 minutes on CW.
How many people know where the
Well, I'm just saying.
Alexa will type it for you.
do 60?
I suggest we just add a bunch of A's to the front of it,
Good idea.
like the old.
In front of the old.
I nominate the Aardvark Amateur Radio
There you
Club.
go.
That's a lot of A's.
Yeah, man. Yes,
I
sir.
know.
Easy on the fist.
Yeah.
How many people know what range stood for?
Radio amateurs needing greater exposure.
Efficiency.
Efficiency, that was it.
Not exposure.
Just the
You
name.
get us in trouble.
I was close.
He gets the name
Counts.
people will just flock to it. I own multiple businesses and just the name alone.
Jackson Range, I just don't think it's doing its justice nowadays. That's why I would like us to vote on it. And the people here, even though you might not be a member, you're doing more than what some of our members are doing. You're active, you're here.
And they showed up.
Yeah, and so, I don't know if you're here to help support the club, or if you're just here to try to win the radio.
No,
We
no.
have our shirt on.
What radio? What are you talking
How
about?
dare you?
Yeah.
We're here for the club.
But we're just glad you're here.
So what three do you have so far that's gotten votes, so we can talk about it?
We've got,
First
we
Coast
got two
Radio.
for First Coast Radio Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
One at least for Jack's Amateur Radio. Because
Yeah,
society
that's-
is taken. Right. That one has a little bit of
That's radio.
panache to it, JARC.
Yeah, I put a little acronym at the end of it.
Dan,
I mean, because you have.
Yes, sir, Terry.
it's just an opinion, but there seems to be an awful lot of emphasis in this area for First Coast. You got First Coast this, and you got First Coast that. I think it's kind of confusing. As I also think that range is confusing. It doesn't say who I am. You understand?
We can't call it the Terry Moore Radio Society.
Why not?
But yeah, I just want to grow the club, get us more exposure. We haven't done a fundraiser in 10 years. We got to start doing some fundraisers, and especially if we're going to start spending money. And like any organization, any business, you're not going to grow till you spend money. And we need to start doing some advertising. I was at a doctor's house the other day, sat down at his table in front of his piano and talking to him, old customer of mine. I quit working, but he is one person I still go to this house. And sitting there at his piano, he had a book. I opened up the book, started looking. The book has to book a nonprofit organization. And I'm like, wait a minute, why has he got a book with nonprofit organizations in it? I'm like, I asked him, do you donate to nonprofits? He said, oh yeah, every year. He has a tax write-off. He makes so much money, I guess, where he just has to give money away that gets a tax break. And I'm like, well, would you consider giving to us? I said, I'm president of a nonprofit. I told him about it and said, well, if we do that at the end of the year, no problem, we'll take money whenever. And I started thinking about it. Our name wasn't in that book. How many other people are picking up this book, don't know anything about nonprofits, and just scrolling through it and saying, hey, this one? We're never going to be picking out of that lottery because our name's not in there.
How do the names get in the book?
I'm pretty sure you pay for It's like advertising in magazines.
Yeah, okay.
It's ad. So it's a book of nonprofits.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to pay to put your ad in there, but if you don't pay
Kinda like
$50 or
IEEE.
$500 for that ad, I don't know how many copies they send out, you're not gonna be picked because you didn't pay your permit to get put in the book.
Like the IEEE.
Yeah, so that's something I want to look into. I mean, that could be potentially whatever it costs to run an ad in that magazine, or it's like a hardback book, I think. I don't know what it costs, but it could be way out of our price range, but it's something we need to look into. It might be cost prohibitive. It could be something we could afford to do.
Well, maybe you could talk them into donating.
Yeah.
There could be some online resources that you could post to that might be cheaper than a hard copy book.
I'm finding that various resources online that we can put our name in that doesn't cost us anything. But it takes time and effort. That's why we're looking for our treasury, people in our organization to get involved and maybe designate that to them. Say, this is what we'd like you to work on. Try to go online, research, find these things and put our names out there and all these nonprofits. We need to be on these lists. Somebody needs to do it. So yeah, maybe that's why I'm trying to grow the club and get more volunteers in and give them little jobs. If we give somebody a little job like that, it's easier to do that one little job than it is like I'm doing now.
5 or 6.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. So yeah, that's why we're trying to grow the club, get more people involved, more people to get involved, the more we can actually do and get done and be recognized. And more important, we need a good name to start at the bottom. A year from now, we start growing, and then when we start, it's going to be harder to make the change. So I want to try to go ahead and we can decide tonight, we can go ahead and get this done. That way, first of the year, we'll have a new name. We'll still be Jacksonville Range legally, but we'll have a new name. A lot of people, sole proprietorship will have own the business in their name. Like myself, I'm Daniel Lewis. My name's sole proprietor. I filed my taxes, Daniel Lewis. But the business, my business was Handyman Dan and his Big Ugly Truck. That was the name of my corporation. That was a doing business as.
DBA.
And I had to do all that through the state, get all that registered, and that was my business name, but it was Daniel Lewis. Just the way the state makes you do everything. Justin,
Yes.
you had a comment.
When we're looking for information about nonprofits, we could go to a nonprofit and say, what do you do to advertise and what can we access locally? So that's going along the same lines as what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got us signed up with Zelly, DELLY. They work with nonprofits as far as doing like online auctions, online raffles. One reason we're not raffling this radio off, I started a raffle. I put it on Facebook prematurely. And I started doing some research on it real quick just to see what legality was it for nonprofits. And I got the rules here from the state of Florida statutes.
That's officially a giveaway.
Yeah. In order for us, anybody, nonprofit, I don't know how some of these other groups around here is doing it, but if you're a nonprofit in the state of Florida, a 50-50 raffle or any type of raffle is considered gambling in the state of Florida. You're allowed to do it as a nonprofit. You have to register with the Department of Agricultural and Civilian Affairs, or I forget the name of the department, but you have to register with them, and they're going to give you a permit, and you have to pay for it. And they base the permit, I believe, on your last year's income tax filing. And so basically you're paying them to be able to legally have a raffle. Now, when you do have a raffle, this is the interesting part. It's legal. We can have raffles. We can have all we want. You can't charge for the tickets. Tickets have to be free. That's the state law. So how do you have a raffle and you can't charge for the ticket?
Take donations.
You can suggest a donation amount on the ticket, but
Suggested donation.
yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't give, you have to give the ticket away for free. It's,
I'll take 20.
yeah, it's, there's, people do it, nonprofits do it, and they make money with it. So we have to research how to do that and how to make it profitable.
I just looked up, Jacksonville Amateur Radio Society is an active website and, the webpage and meeting dates and things like that, so.
Yeah, I meant to cross that number 2 off. I think I searched that myself.
So Daniel, why don't we just, why don't you just run down the list and people can vote on what they want and somebody tallies the vote and then you get your answer.
We can do that.
That way, if you have 2 or 3 as your favorite, you still get to vote on that, and then the total number for whatever line it is, that becomes it.
Okay. All right, yeah, let's do that. Oh, we have to finish up on the raffle thing. The raffles we can do, we have to get registered with the state. So I stopped the auction. I was just gonna sell 80 tickets, $5 a ticket. That would raise $400 for the club. You can't do that. So I stopped it before we got in trouble and refunded a couple of tickets I did sell. And I said, we'll just give it away. Yeah.
If you had an event, could you charge a door fee to attend the event and everyone gets a free raffle?
Have to check into it, but we can charge for events. Like we could charge to come to this meeting and then give the radio away.
We're gonna have a party that's gonna be catered by Dunkin' Donuts. There's gonna be donuts and coffee.
Yeah.
It's $5 per head.
Bring that.
Have a door prize.
Radio and do a mobile activation.
So that could be a possibility. We can charge to come to a meeting and give away something at a meeting. I'd have to look into that, but we can charge for an event.
Don't need to watch that episode of Young Shelton where Meatball, he's got a gambling thing here. You need to get you some stuffed dolls, Daniel.
Now, auction. We are a tax exempt with the state of Florida, so we can buy stuff, not pay taxes on it, as long as we use it. It's consumable during our use of our club. Now, if we sell it, we have to collect the taxes because we're not consuming it. Now, if we hold an auction, anything we sell, we have to prove where the money come to buy that. Or if it was donated, we have to say it was donated. Whatever we sell at any auction, we have to collect sales tax on it. Even though if it was donated, we're selling a $1,000 brand new radio that's donated to us. Sure, we can prove it was donated. Or if we buy it and we're gonna auction it off, we can do that. We have to show, well, this come out of our savings account. We bought from HRO, and here's the receipt. This is proof we bought it. Once we sell it, we have to collect the sales tax. And if the person wants a receipt, we have to give them a special form showing we collected the sales tax. And that sales tax has to be paid to the state of Florida.
Dang, you can get a gun easier than what you're talking about.
Yes, any nonprofit. So I don't know.
Yeah, we don't want to risk our
Yeah,
profits.
yeah, so we don't want to, I know there's other clubs having auctions, and I bought stuff at auctions, and I didn't pay taxes. So I don't know what these other clubs are doing, but they're not legal. We're trying to stay legal.
Or it would be simple, just paying the sales tax when you purchase the item and you got proof that the tax was paid.
Okay, what if somebody donated this stuff and we're having an auction, and we're holding a tax certificate? Legally, you're supposed to collect sales tax, and we're supposed to pay it to the state. It doesn't matter if we purchased it or not. Anytime we sell something, since we're holding a tax certificate, we're supposed to collect sales tax, regardless where it comes from.
Individual sale, person to person, obviously is exempt from that.
Yeah, but since we're holding a sales tax certificate, anything we sell, we have to collect taxes on. It's state law. I started checking into this stuff and I'm like, oh man,
You just open.
America's free? Tell me the freedom here.
You open Pandora's box with that one.
It's crazy. All right, back to our,
Well, one thing about the sales tax, you actually have a sales tax exemption certificate. So the sales tax doesn't get paid twice. If the club buys something to sell to someone else and they've paid sales tax, you don't pay it twice, once at the purchase and once at the sale.
yeah. All right, let's take us a vote. Got number one. We got Duval County Amateur Radio Society. Anybody?
I like it.
No, we got one.
There's one.
How many times can we vote?
I'm writing it down, Daniel, it's okay.
Okay. I guess,
I'll put a vote on that one. D-Car, that's kind of cool.
yeah, I thought, Nassau County is in-cars.
Right.
They're new, they voted on it 4 or 5 months ago. They're in-cars.
Cool.
So that would be D-cars. Be falling in line with what they've done up there. Duval County Amateur Radio Club. Anybody? Then we have Duval County Amateur Ham Radio Club.
To me, anything with a club is not, it's just, it'd be like
Yeah.
a private club, and it's not.
Yeah. Duval County Ham Radio Club.
Well, that seems a little redundant. I don't like the use of the word club myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Jacksonville Ham Radio Club. JARS, JHRC.
Jerk, say that real fast.
Then we got Jacksonville Amateur Radio Club.
Yeah, I can get behind that one too.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What about Jacksonville Amateur Radio Organization?
It's not on the list.
It's not on the list. We're going in
It
order.
didn't make the list.
Sure.
How many
I
was
got a
that?
pen, I can write
That
it
was
in.
9.
I had 7 so far, you say 9?
9.
9 votes, thank you.
Ham Radio Fun Club. No? Nobody?
That's the one you want to know today.
Fun club.
Yeah, Fun Ham Radio Club.
Well, take it, we want to make sure this is right, because you don't have to change it 5, 10 years down the road, right?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, will that name stay politically correct?
First Radio Club. Then we got First Coast Radio Club, FCRC. Got
That's
1,
close to
2,
First Coast
3,
Radio system.
4, 5.
I mean, seriously.
Got 5. Then we got First Coast Ham Radio Club, FCHRC. That's a mouthful. Then we got the Ham Radio Club, THRC.
Like the Jacksonville station?
That's right.
Yeah, the
Hey, you could
local,
change it
the,
to, the Ham Club, THC.
Oh, no.
Yeah, THC, the Ham Club. Got one for that.
Yeah, do that one.
We got 2 for that, we got 2 for that.
Got your hand up, Lewis? Stretching. Ham Club didn't make it then.
So far, the front runner is Jacksonville Amateur Radio Club with 9. First Coast Radio Club with 6, I believe. And Duval County's Amateur Radio Society is bringing it up with 3. Bringing
I
up
wondered
the
if Jacksonville Amateur Radio Club is too close to Jacksonville Amateur Radio Society.
I just don't like the word club.
Yeah,
It's like-
I don't
What
like the
about-
word club
Like,
either,
yeah.
because we're really more than a club.
why don't we add society to one of the First Coast options? FCRS, First Coast Radio Society.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I can get behind that.
So are you accepting nominations for the floor? Is that what we're doing? Or we're just
We're still debating here.
debating? First, come again? First Coast Radio.
Society, yeah.
Should we have at least 2 or 3 suggestions on the list that we go to register? If for some reason that the first one we pick
Right, yeah.
is not available?
Um,
So when you do your voting,
We
We
can
can-
already research the ones that are on the
yeah,
list.
we can check online real
Yeah.
quick and tell.
okay, I was just curious about it. We didn't
Yeah.
have more than one suggestion.
Google's your friend.
Yeah, now we can check,
Just Google it.
online. So we're looking at what,
Swipe up.
Jacksonville Radio or Jacksonville Amateur Radio Society?
First Coast Radio Society,
That was the last one.
Yeah.
You're mentioning something
as
else.
a write-in candidate.
That sounds like a psychology group.
Do we have a second write-in? Jacksonville Amateur Radio Society? Is that another write-in?
Well, that one is an old
I'm
one.
asking.
Yeah, I'm asking, what was it?
I thought you said First Coast Amateur Radio Society. Then we said Jacksonville Amateur.
Yeah, I thought that was number 1, Jacksonville Amateur Radio Club.
That's number 1 so far by count, yes.
But we didn't like, per se, the club. So we
I'm sorry,
wanted,
Billy, you want to be recognized? Billy, what'd you say?
where'd Billy go?
Billy,
Billy,
we got.
I didn't say anything.
You did. Somebody blamed you. It wasn't me.
No, I'm talking about Billy Williams when he's auctioning out on the,
Oh, that Billy. Different group.
Oh,
yeah, Jacksonville Amateur Radio, something, isn't it?
That's the only repeater owner in that club. Billy.
Yeah.
Website.
so
Well, he owns the repeater. He can call it anything he wants.
That's almost like having a stupid account on Facebook. You go screw up in life and you want people to pay for it.
So what happened to you?
No, my sister did that. She got stuck in Haiti. Didn't want everybody to pay for it.
That sounds like a scam to me.
It is a scam.
Oh, okay. You don't have a sister, is that it?
No, I don't claim any of them.
Oh, okay.
You want to be my next one?
No, I'm just saying, sounds like she's made up and it's a scam. All right, so Daniel, what are we up to here? We have 1, 2, 3 front runners. Are we adding First Coast Radio Society? Right, we wrote that down.
yeah, right now.
Any new votes, any
The
call to vote
First
for that?
Coast Amateur Radio. Do we need to have society or club behind it?
You'd be better off putting these on a roulette wheel on this.
I don't like club anywhere.
You just said that, we recognize that.
Well, I'm saying it again because he just brought it up again.
Yeah,
With the radio, with the title that has radio club in it, or amateur radio either one, if they're doing a search, those words will ping on that search real quick.
correct. That's correct.
First Coast Amateur Radio. That sound good?
Yeah.
First Coast Amateur
If it's
Radio.
shorter, we don't really need the club or society.
Yeah, First Coast Ham Radio.
Amateur or ham, pick one.
We'd rather have amateur or ham radio? First Coast
Amateur.
Ham Radio.
I think amateur sticks out.
Yeah.
I think amateur,
Which word gets more search results?
Amateur.
or ham?
Probably amateur.
Amateur does?
Oh, yeah. Other than, you know, come on, you're on the top of the server.
So that's,
On
okay,
the
so
next-
It
FCA.
starts with an A too.
Got the A in there. yeah.
I'll put another one in there.
So we got, everybody likes First Coast Amateur Radio? Like that?
How's that like for their shop?
Because amateur radio sounds good.
Well, let's see how many votes we get for that.
Yeah, let's vote on that. First Coast Amateur Radio. Yeah.
I think that's it.
I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Bingo.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like 17,
Go for
right?
You get a free, that's a free stamp.
I think so.
Yes.
Isn't that
First
the word
Coast Amateur Radio.
It's magnanimous.
Magnanimous.
Everything.
Majority.
All right, we have
Let's
a
see if we
winner.
can get that going. That's just a matter, well, first of all, I have to run it in a newspaper.
2 weeks, right?
I think I found a newspaper. They, I forget the name of it.
There's one down on Bay Street that does legal notices and things. And it's used, that's what the thing is used for.
Yeah.
Legal notices. That's what
Yeah, this is like
Yeah, Daily Record, that's the name.
Daily Record.
Yeah.
I looked it up and I seen somewhere it's like $75 to run an ad.
And you run it for 2 weeks, I think it runs.
Yeah.
We have 3 directors.
And then it's considered legally posted.
Soon, not necessarily do it. Unless somebody else.
Yeah, and the state says when you file to do the paperwork, they're not even gonna check. They're just taking your word that you run an ad in the paper.
Yep, never check.
But-
It's somebody else to tell you
don't
that
run
you
that
can't.
ad, and when somebody's got an existing name, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You have to have, they'll send you a copy that it was right wing.
Yeah,
Jumped
I'm-
into the blender while it was running.
And firstcoastamateurradio.com is available as a web domain for $12.99.
Book it.
You're quick, man.
So, yeah, you think we should register that domain?
Yeah, grab it before somebody snatches it up. Might be smart to do it now.
Yeah, it's $17, $20 a month, something like that.
I got some big servers.
Not a month, a year.
I got some big servers if you need them. We can start our own server farm.
And every other domain is also available, net or.
Yeah. We already have JacksonvilleRange.com.org, and we have W4RNG.com and .org. And everything is forwarded to the W4RNG.org now. I've changed that last week. What I'm gonna do eventually, I'm leaving for a month, I should be back before our next meeting, I'm hoping. Yeah, we're running along. I wanna set up a separate website on probably W4RNG.com with a forum. And I hope everybody's a forum, maybe everybody's familiar with it. It's like a place you can join in, make you a post, about like Facebook, but much better.
A little chat room.
Yeah. You can upload, download
Groups.io
files,
have been doing
pictures.
that for years, for all kinds of radio clubs, right?
Anyway, I'll work on that sometime. Let's see. Our nominations. Jack, you're the head of that. Let's go over that. I think it's pretty simple. About to forget about that. That's what this
We
meeting is
got a
for.
bunch of nominations, not a bunch of nominees. We got actually 7 elected positions. President, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and 3 directors from the membership at large. And I came up with somebody for all of them, except secretary. And we're really one short on the directors. I've already done it, I don't need to do it again. Maybe somebody would step forward and like to be on that list. What happens is when we present the nominating committee report tonight, the president will open the floor for additional nominations from the floor, which can be added to that list. And next, let's see, this is set October. They'll be voted on next month. But no more nominations are taken in. This tonight, nominations will close. That's the way the bylaws are written. So if you're interested in being nominated and see if you get elected next month, you speak up now or forever hold your peace till next year. Although sometimes people resign or whatever, and then we can fill a position by presidential appointment if need be sometimes. But we don't have a secretary. Nobody wants to do secretary.
What do the duties include?
Yeah. The duties.
Duties.
Of the
Duties.
secretary.
Wait a minute, who's talking?
What are the duties for a secretary?
Well, the main one is to take minutes of the meetings. The secretary, technically, in the bylaws, is responsible for maintaining the records of the organization, which means past minutes and past treasurer's reports and this, that, and the other, a box full of stuff, more or less. And it's not a terribly onerous job. I mean, I did it for quite a while myself. Before I became vice president and and then president. And after that, I became only an appointee as Squelchdale editor for a quarter century. But that's an appointed position. We've got a bunch of appointed positions which are not elected positions. And all of those serve at the pleasure of the president, who consults with his board generally, if there's any doubt or, discussion or controversy or whatever. Of course, people are just knocking each other over to take these positions, so. But if you're interested in secretary, we sure would be glad to have you I nominate you as secretary.
I got myself into that, didn't I?
Let's get your name and call sign written down. I guess Daniel's got the paper there.
Yeah.
You can withdraw before they put it on pencil now.
You don't have to accept.
What are the duties for directors as well? I'm curious about.
Complain.
Complain. That sounds like a job.
Directors, the director, you basically have voting rights on the board.
You meet once a month.
Really
talk
no
about it.
obligation. Just gives you a voting right.
4 meetings a year, right? 4 meetings a year.
Quarterly
you gotta go to?
meetings, yes.
Quarterly
It's like
meetings.
a-
4 meetings a year, quarterly meetings that are supposed
What
to
you're
happen.
facing and what needs to be corrected.
Yeah, you're just like a member at large, but you have voting rights on the board. And it's like he says, it's your input. You're another voice for the club at the board meetings. Your ideas, what you think, what's going on, how you want to steer the club.
It
And
helps the club come to a consensus when they've got a decision to make.
Share with the board, what
That's-
you
that's the
hear,
real
what
main
you
thing
know,
right
or what
there.
you think.
yeah, you know what the people you talk with, what their ideas is, and you bring that to the board meetings and you share that. And somebody over here like Lewis, he might be with a different group of people, have different ideas. And if he's on a director, he could come to the board meeting and says, well, the group I'm with would like to see this happen. And so everybody brings their ideas together, and it just gives more of an insight to the board members of what the club wants.
And if the club is strong enough and has the resources, they can do both things.
What's
That's-
that?
That's the impetus.
Yeah, if the club is strong enough, we could do both things that each group wants to see happen. But yeah, it's just a way to get the board members to see what the club wants, what all the club members, and that's,
Most organizations have board members from the membership at large who aren't in one of the official slots where, well, you gotta do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
and what I'm wanting to see with as our organization and as we're growing is I want to see us include all the members. This organization is the
I
members.
see the club too big for
I
that.
mean, everything we do, we want the members' input. I mean, we are, without the members, we're nothing.
Well, I highly recommend that any board that we ever have not ignore the input from the members. But the way it works, according to our bylaws, is that the directors or the board of directors members, these elected people and the directors at large, have the voting authority for the decision-making of the club. And what we would do traditionally all through the decades and as per bylaws is take straw polls to see what the membership does or doesn't like, or, you know, is or isn't interested in, or whatever. So we take a straw poll and that becomes advisory information to the next board meeting, whenever a board meeting is held, to vote on whatever that idea might be. Should there be a motion, you know, brought and seconded and discussed and whatnot on that subject. Who, what?
Nothing, keep going.
So,
I mean, I wouldn't mind helping out. I don't mind at all.
with what?
I wouldn't mind helping out
With what?
with either one, actually.
Which two?
The secretary or director.
Well, secretary we need desperately.
Okay. I mean, I can help.
And one of the things the secretary can do is provide the recorded minutes to, say, the swell scale editor or the web director, whatever we have, to help keep the organization informed of what's going on or went on, you know. If you're secretary, I sure would love to have you as secretary, or any of us would.
I'll throw my hat in the ring as director.
And you would take a director slot?
Yeah, money for Harlan.
Wow.
Okay, Carl,
That's what I'm doing for.
WPQ.
cool.
To help out. I
Well,
want to see it grow.
that's about all I have to say.
You'd rather be what?
How many do you have for,
What would you rather be?
how many have me, myself, the
I mean,
president?
I'll help out with secretary.
Justin for vice president.
Somebody-
Mine?
Now we have Adam for secretary.
Yep.
What's your call, Adam?
KQ4 UQT.
But-
KQ4 UQT. UQT.
A lot of cues in the,
Which,
Uniform Quebec.
and this
Tango.
gentleman for director, in place of my name there, which doesn't need to be there, that was out of desperation. Okay, so we've got 3 directors defined on the list then.
So we got,
Billy Griffin, Rajesh, and this gentleman. You gotta have 3
Okay.
directors.
okay, and we got,
Which is a full slate.
yeah, Connor, we have Connor
Connor
for
is
the
treasurer.
treasurer.
Nice.
We don't
Get
have
that radio
anybody
now.
running against anybody.
Well, we can't elect them until next month. But
I mean, I don't-
if you ask to entertain, if you had decided to entertain a motion that nominations be closed, there'll be a real quick election next month.
Well, essentially, it will be closed, this meeting.
Well, it's up to you to officially request, is there a nomination that, or a nomination, is there a motion that we close nominations?
Or is there anybody else that wants to volunteer to do anything?
Well, there are some appointed positions
Now,
that
next-
then,
Yeah, next year, once the new year rolls in, or anytime before then, I'm looking for a activities director, webmaster,
How much it pay?
A lot of zeros, nothing else.
yeah, but let's not get too deep into that.
we're doubling the salaries this year. The technical committee,
All those are appointed positions.
yeah, no. I'll try to, if anybody's interested, let me know, because that's just positions that I'll, appoint. Usually what happens is incoming president next year, when they take office, they'll appoint those positions. Right now, we don't have those positions filled, so we could appoint anybody who wants to do that.
So you don't have a
Well,
transition.
before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's finish this up.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
maybe you would open the floor for, we've had discussion, before we even had a whatever. Maybe it would be good to ask if there is a motion that we close nominations and a second to that motion.
All right. Yeah, is there a motion to open nominations?
Well, we already opened them.
Okay, yep.
Well, you gotta open and close it, so, yeah.
We're ready. We opened them already. We're ready to close.
All right. Yep, does anybody,
Are there any
Have a
further
motion?
nominations from the floor would be the correct question.
okay, yeah, is there any more nominations from the floor from anybody?
Anybody's phone ringing off with somebody jumping up and down wanting to be nominated for something?
If not, I would motion that we close the nominations. We have a second. Second.
Or.
All in favor?
Fifth. All in favor?
Raise your hand.
Aye.
All right, we'll close that subject.
So we won't have to do a hanging Chad election next month.
So next month, the elections will pretty much just be cut and dry.
Well, the ballots hand counted?
Hope springs eternal.
Just to be on the safe
Gonna
side,
say.
I am gonna,
Drop ballots, guys.
yes, sir.
Is the membership chair here tonight?
We do not have a membership chair.
Well, who do I see to join?
Any of the officers. I'm vice president.
I'll see you in a
He's
minute.
President.
I'll see you in a minute, Jack.
I'll
I
take
guess
money
I better join
anytime.
too.
Nice.
Just to be on
How
the
many
safe
decades
side,
did you want to pay for?
and just to be on the safe side, I think I will hit the road and do the New England circuit this month and campaign. Just make sure I got the ticket held.
The whistle stop.
Get the delegates.
So it's it's up to me and Justin and you over Zoom for the, let's see, November meeting.
I'm planning on being back.
You're gonna haunt us?
All right, let's see, if that's it.
Well, we could have a quick program.
Yeah, you did. Jack has a,
I guess we could just pass it around.
yeah, this is a little device that it's a DTMF decoder. You hook a RF receiver to it, like a Bofang. Audio comes out of your Bofang into it. You program it for a 4-digit tone. So you can be like, key up your transceiver, 1, 2, 3, 4 on your keypad. And that thing's got 4 relays. Say like relay number 1 is set for a code of 1, 2, 3, 4. You can key up your transmitter, RF into the receiver hooked to that thing, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on your keypad, it would turn that relay on. Relay number 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, key radio 1, 2, 3, 4 again, it would turn the relay off. You can have another 2, relay number 2 would be like 2, 2, 2, 2. Relay number 3 would be 4 3s. Relay number 4, you can set up for 4 4s. So essentially what we're gonna do with devices like that is I'm eventually gonna put one up on the Dames Point Bridge. And that's gonna give us our out of band control. We have the 7.6 receiver. We have the 220 receiver. We have the 3.6, the new 3.6 receiver up there. The what?
And the audio that goes into this thing, it could come over phone line or radio or however, whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, essentially with that up there, with a 440 receiver hooked to it, we can actually use that, DTMF tones into it, use the relays through the 12 volts power supply to the transceivers, and we'll be able to turn the power off. So we'll be able to actually turn the receivers on and off on a bridge when we need to, if we ever need to. But that will keep us in compliance with FCC, because we'll have Alabama control, which going back to trying to say we're trying to be legal where we can. And that device didn't cost $20. A little bit of cabling, time to get up on the bridge is the main thing, but it's so inexpensive for doing something like this to be legal. I don't know why we have not done this over the years, and everybody's like, well, it's so unimportant, we're just not gonna do it. Well,
It's also really handy if someone's QRMing your repeater and having a blast doing it, and you just take their toy away.
yeah,
Take the repeater down until they, go away and play another day.
yeah, it's something that's so inexpensive like that, so easy to set up. Yeah, we just need to do it. So that's some of the stuff that I spent money on last month to get. And we've got now, we just need to get everything set up, and maybe the next time we climb the bridge, we'll have it and be able to do all the interconnects and everything once we get up there. I think that's about it. Let's see if we can have a drawing here.
Next month, I'll try to have a quicker program.
Don't drop it this time.
It was new in the box.
While he's figuring that out, here's something I brought for show and tell from one of my stepdaughters. This is a Life straw that lets you take the water, whatever it is, and filter it when you use. Pass that around. You got a lot of water problems.
A lot of backpackers use this, and anyone who just went through a hurricane that doesn't have any potable water, you can, and as a hiker, former scoutmaster, backpacker, you can literally stick this into a pond full of frogs and it'll filter the water and make it drinkable. It filters it down to so many microns.
We got a puddle out there, you want to demonstrate?
Yeah, why not?
Why don't you take it up to Georgia where they're having that chlorine stuff in the water?
They actually, one of the things that I thought this was interesting. I thought this was interesting is
What's your name?
Bill Gates had a foundation that he wanted to come up with some sort of filtering system that he could send out with his all over the world. And this very idea, and I think it might be the same name, is now being circulated all over the world for people that have been fighting Giardia, what's the other one? Yeah, all those nasty little germs that come from even clear drinking looking water. Yeah.
Is that a Sawyer?
This is not a Sawyer. This is by a Westergaard with 2 A's.
For $20 at Walmart, you can get the same thing with a Sawyer right now in the sporting section.
Right.
And it's only guaranteed for 100,000 gallons.
Only 100,000.
I probably wouldn't drink that in one sitting.
Wow, 100,000.
Well, and the other initiative they have was well digging, because all these arid countries that just don't have the ability to do this. They're actually coming up with solar powered water supplies to be able to draw the water out, and then a filtration system just like this to keep people from dying of dysentery in third world countries. Pretty cool stuff. But if you had a chance to either drink from a puddle or use this, I would definitely use this.
It's a lot better than nothing.
Receiver, all it needs is just receiver.
Oh, I talked about Frog Pond. we were in Osceola with my scout troop, and there were tadpoles swimming all over the surface, and we had to scoop out the algae, and the kids are like, I'm not drinking that. But we had a piston style backpacking filter by Katahdin or Canadin, I don't know. We filtered it down so well that we didn't even have to use normal iodine drops or chlorine bleach or even have to boil it. Thank you. It came out tasting better than Jacksonville tap water.
Which isn't that hard to do.
And they were all amazed at that fact. They're like, I can't believe this. They drank it.
I drank some, they got catfish.
Ah,
Put some coins in there.
Adrian.
Pick it up here. So sitting on the porch.
Imagine if I could just stay up here the whole time.
Must be present.
Drum roll.
Okay.
6008. Dang. What? 6008.
Hasn't been over here.
You got it? That's it?
Hey, this is great. I want a recount. I want a hand recount.
That's great. I'm just as stunned as you are. I was just handed
You want
it.
to sell
I
it?
didn't even pick it.
Give you $5 for it.
Only time they sell
Now, if you wanted to, you can pass it on to somebody else.
Here's a consolation prize.
Let's do another, pull another one if we don't want it.
Yeah, now, if you're disappointed, we can draw it on.
I'm
What is it?
disappointed. Oh, man. Let's draw again.
Draw again?
Uh-oh. Tore 'em up.
Terry.
Draw again.
Perfect. Let the blind man draw it. By the way, Terry's from Nassau County.
Represent.
All right, in cars. All right, we have got, that's gonna be bad if I win now.
Yeah. Hey, it's not my fault if you do. I'll tell you that.
All right, what have we got here? 5993,
Uh-oh, I know it wasn't there.
993.
Was that even on the reel?
I got 997. You got 998.
Someone has to have it, because there are higher numbers that have already been drawn, or been given out.
993.
Well, maybe I better find them.
I'm sorry, Jack, your only chance to win.
Oh,
Terry, what's your ticket say? You said you can't see. I can't. Al, what's Terry's ticket?
I don't know why,
One number off.
We still looking on it?
993.
Until we have a winner or we draw again.
Wait a
So
minute.
Dan, what's your number?
You got it?
No, he said draw again. What's your number, Dan?
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
let's see, whoever got the first ticket.
Here we go. I found where they are. I knew they were here somewhere.
I was like that.
I guess I'll have to see.
5993.
Yes.
Definitely right.
But the ticket has to be in
Fix
whole,
it
right?
then.
One part has to be in whole and intact, right?
Said no hanging chads.
No counterfeits, no hanging chads, no alterations.
Can we hang somebody else? Here it is, I'm not kidding.
They took that down from Lake City, so you can't go out there.
You have a winner.
Confirm this ticket, Justin.
This has a lifetime warranty, doesn't it?
Only until you open the box.
It'd be out of, service after a year.
You said 5993, right?
That's correct.
I want you to-
That is the ticket. Congratulations, young man.
Well, thank you, sir.
All right.
All right.
I don't want C4 FM or FDM.
So
You
so
can-
the
you can
lucky
draw
leprechaun
again.
paid off
You
for
can give it
Jack.
back and withdraw
The lucky
again.
leprechaun.
I've been looking for a rainbow all day. I'll tell you.
All right, I make a motion, we adjourn.
But thank you for the chance to, have fun and give it away.
That was very sporty, Justin, thank you for doing that.
Anybody else need a radio?
You'll get points down the road.
Yeah.
I need all the help I can get.
We all know if I got enough battery on my bus.
You'll probably see that flea market on.
Yeah.
People talk about.
Yeah, I want to send you. Maybe next month.
They are so wild.
I guess that's, what conclude our meeting.
$5.
Everybody, you will have a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, get up and leave.
Third, fourth, fifth. I'm gonna go down.
You don't have to go home, you just can't stay here.
I'm going down to Waterford.
What now? You can talk on food.
Anyone, public service announcement. Yeah, that's, PSA, if you want to pee, you need to do it now, the bathrooms are open before you leave. Okay, so I'm locking them at the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Justin.
Thanks for bringing the nostalgia shirt back. I'm impressed, man. I gotta bring that back. Preserve. I think it's great. You actually got to you're still around. It's crazy.
I have pretty good ideas.
I stayed up like 2 in the morning, like, I was fiddling with the bike.
Tomorrow, but no, we're not ready.
Well, I
The levers,
Well,
wide blade, solid.
Oh, it has some
Working it out.
with a bug in there in the software.
Bumps. The doggone, big old bumps.
We're all right. Once it started working.
Grinding against the wall. So I took those. Not yet, some way, because I have a leather wound wrap on it, but it's just not enough cushioning. So I'm gonna probably take like some wrap or something, shove it underneath there and relace it so that it gives me some more like clank, clank, clank. That isn't gonna work. That's what I said. If that ever is a real thing, too many customizations, if that ever becomes a real problem, I'm gonna suffer from that.
Hi, bud.
I was there.
Thank you very much. Yep, bye. Hope to see you next meeting. We'll, have a good program. I hope you make it exciting. Maybe we just hands-on building something.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Thank you, Billy. We're hoping to get out of here if the weather permits, no more storm. Yeah, we're on the.
We're just going to go through
This
the
whole
hall.
thing.
Billy, that's
Take
all I
my
do.
passport, not just come across the border.
And if I had to, I'd put an endless down. I get rubber balls.
Yeah.
I haven't got Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. We got a wooden US map. Color in those 3 states. You see leaves, standing color. We may jump over to Niagara
But I
Falls.
seen that came
We're right there at the border. We're
I've got a couple.
I've been there. It's beautiful.
hiking it. Probably, I didn't.
It's working, Niagara Falls is working.
Right behind the window. Right there, just before you get in.
No, we
Oh,
didn't
really?
do that. It was.
Okay, you passed right by me.
Oh, yeah.
We're on Bismarck Road. You want to do that?
There's actually, we went for the Christmas kind of beginning.
Which we can come in, this one or
Yeah,
I think I can answer your question now. I got this in my head.
Oh, yeah, you can do it.
Is the offer in here? Well, you asked 3 months, going after it.
First.
It's partly in the radio and it's partly in the software. 3 places. But one of the things is to be very easy and operate a failure situation.
But, turn right there.
Right, and we got an MH42, which is used just like MH42. I don't know what all goes on, but a lot of things do.
That's probably, well.
You know the people in that area very well?
Once you get it programmed up, I hardly ever use anything else. You scan, and then whenever it gets to the one-on-one, stop it right there. I go,
I'm related to Keith Kane.
what is this, 1,001?
You get right.
Oh, yeah. Abraham Lincoln too. Don't touch the video.
I'm looking to see where the camera is.
I don't know it.
It's back there, dude. You see me play that? Let's get out of here. Let's get you. Yeah, man, that's all you can see. I talked to you before, man. Where do you get it? Look in the box.
Well, usually the screen's bigger than that.
I'll be there in 2 minutes. I'll close that Sunday. I got it. This boy got school in the
Just
morning. I got work in the
VHF,
morning.
Huh? Well, then they gotta stay under 50 watts, but then,
Yeah, what they really sell.
did I ever tell you about the night I?
Oh, yeah, look at this. Come back next month. Yeah.
Any direction I turned my beam, I would hear.
All right, Connor.
He is. Yeah, a little bit of wrong sense. I try to bring him with me to all the ham radio stuff we
He
can.
made a phone call to main side, but don't. And they need somebody to, see, on FM, you wouldn't hear that, it's only on single sideband. I was using an IC402 transceiver with it, which is a 1 or 2 watt UHF crystal. 200, we had 2 crystal switches, so you did 200 kilohertz here and 200 kilohertz there, which is all you needed for satellite bands. So it was pulling the crystal. It wasn't a true VFO. But worked great for what I was doing. You know, over at Grant's house on Renoir Drive, it looked like an IC215, you know, a little vertical looking thing. Pulled up the telescoping antenna, all like that, sitting on the top of the roof of my car. Here comes Oscar 7. The minute it cleared the radio horizon, cleared the film. Didn't move the needle. 5 contact. 2,500 miles away.
It's amazing what you can do when you don't have anything in between.
It helps. That's what happens up here.
Yeah. I gotta go. Talk to you later.
Well, thank you. I was hoping tonight to show how to beat those 4 codes.
And what?
Yeah,
I brought a signal.
It's
Yeah,
something
nobody
they
is,
like,
but at first
they really excel at it, yeah.
He's usually got one of the, leads when we do that.
Brought a signal generator and digital storage oscope and a frequency counter.
Yeah.
And we can copy that over the air when someone's trying to break into your system. Um, And beat with the signal generator against the tones. And if I'm trying to figure out what the tones are as a non-legal control operator. So then I can take control of the computer. Go.
You and I log in memberships, if you go to the roster.
We'll see where the funds are. Still ready, next to our.
Yeah, yeah.
I sure do. Oh, thank you. I got a handful. Yeah. I asked about you. Every time I talk to Daniel. Yeah, you've gone through
I grew up in that.
we all have pretty much.
Right on the border of Edgewater and Smyrna, right on the border.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. Like, right at the north end of the mosquito stream there, like where 442 ends in the US one. It was growing up a lot. Just even in the last 10 years.
Is it
Z-Z-I-E or Y?
Growing up, we didn't run around the cars, we ran around on bicycles. We were the big shows.
Yeah.
Don't go off the end of the street. Like Clemens Street.
Yep. We used to play in the ditch, like rain and then fill up. So right, we had one that it was like just perfect, thing to ride your life through. And once it was full.
We need that for the, admin too.
Like three of the streets, it's like right on, like I said, the border of Edgewater, New Smyrna. So we have.
Oh, man.
Anyway, go online, you're on the roster.
Uh-oh, 8:40, they're gonna turn the lights out on us.
It might move around.
So we
When I
did whatever the boys were
I
doing.
use Apple.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a landscaper
How
now.
to do it on phone.
I don't mind it.
You're always telling me that he's out of town and you need something. I don't live far away.
Are you?
Computer related. I used to work on pressure washes.
Yeah.
Good. Just like this webpage doesn't work.
I'll bring a $20 donation.
Do you want to issue a receipt? We can.
Ready to hook this one up? See, I've got a radio
But I
that
didn't
uses
put
all the
any
same
date, but I'll
connectors in the
do
car
that on.
right now. It's an older model,
$20 a year.
and in fact, it had a
Yeah, that's
problem
not.
5 years ago, 6 years
Then
ago.
I don't use the
I
phone.
did everything that
Yeah,
they
good
said
thing I
to
didn't
do.
throw your money. in
If
the
you join
bucket.
mid-year, then you would pay for the remainder of that year plus all of the following.
I've done more than $20 on one.
I worried it to death. I just said, okay, I surrender. I started working.
$20 is not much money.
No.
I need to work on getting an ad running in the newspapers, so our name change, so we can start doing all our.
What it was, we had,
So how was your driveway, Justin?
one.
Yeah,
it looked
one,
fantastic. I like the name of it.
5, 6, 7, 8.
When they came by with a little camera,
I'll do our trip and we'll be back for the next meeting.
when the geese have like
On the microphone.
come by to
Wrote down first coast amateur radio.
Number plates for dialing off.
Yeah, it'll do it on this
Well, I got a video.
Nice. Possibly.
I couldn't vote because I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
I even showed my wife how to, because she works at home. She puts up with